Hello, everybody. Welcome back on the ranch. Today I have Mr. Arlo Nadar, Supreme Court Justice, former governor, vice governor, and LS mayor. Right, Arlo? Did I get everything correct?
Yes, hello everyone.
So, how's it been, Arlo? Out of the whole, not being a governor anymore. What is it like now?
It definitely has taken a lot of time to adjust. Going from a state governor to a federal judge. Obviously, are very two different branches, and it is definitely taken time to adjust and let the state be run by someone else.
Yeah, I figured so. I figured you miss everything because every time
Oh,
I see
absolutely.
every time I see you around, you have FIB police now. First you had Secret Service. Now you have more security. Um, I'm sure Carrie is a lot happier now, a little bit, right?
Yeah, she is a lot happier that not as much attention is on both of us. And she has expressed that she is glad that it, quote, is over, end quote.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. I had Johan here the other day on my
Oh,
podcast.
really?
Yeah, you need to take a look at that episode. I got it on here on my laptop here, and I want you to. If I mean, you don't have to, but he tells me anytime I bring somebody on the podcast to have them try to buy his book. He is selling a book. It's $48.99. All right. Now, if you want the,
$48 for a book?
that's right. Yeah, and if you want a deluxe version, it's gonna be $89.99. He said.
What is a deluxe version of a
I
book?
don't know what it comes with. I have no
That's a
idea.
little odd, Mr. Mayor.
So I did order the I didn't order the deluxe. All right, I'm not gonna go that far for a book. But I did get the first one. I told him to autograph it, so maybe it might be worth money someday. You never know. Um, Enough of
Okay.
that. So I went ahead and get his little showboat boating going on here or whatever. But anyways, Arlo, being the Supreme Court justice, and now I've seen you've been running the golf course and everything. How's that going at the golf course?
Well, the golf course is actually, we've gotten a couple new employees. More people seem to be interested. And we've gotten some new uniforms shipped in. So those are the very great uniforms, if I say so myself. However, um, going from governor to running more focused on the courts as well as running the golf course, like I said earlier, it's definitely taking time to adjust because I'm having to get used to, less, um, I guess for lack of a better term, less chaos. It actually has been kind of peaceful ever since I left office, which I'm not complaining after all the hard work that myself and Mr. Phillips did. I believe I deserve a very good rest, as one can in this state, as you know.
Yep, yep. And then I heard I want to let you know something, and the audience knows something. And this is kind of strange. I've been in the state for quite a while. I didn't really pay much into who's the governor, who's the vice governor. Now I knew what their names were. I didn't really know of them. I didn't really pay attention. But the moment when I started wanting to run for something, you caught my attention about running for Blaine County mayor, and you saw some type of, like a potential in me. You called me down to the, you called me down to the White House, and
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I was telling all my friends, Leo Towers and all them, I'm like, the governor wants to see me, guys. Oh my God. Like, I had to look good. I had to dress nice. But you know what? When I showed up there, that didn't even matter, how well I dressed or how well I acted, because you were just you. That's what I liked about you. You weren't,
I appreciate that.
yeah, you were straightforward. You were just a normal citizen around here. You weren't like all about the role or anything. And that's what I enjoyed the most. And I'm glad you gave me a phone call, because if you never did, I don't think we would ever be sitting right here. I don't think I would ever achieve some goals later down the road, and I do appreciate that.
Of course. And um, as you know, when you ran for Blaine County Mayor during my second term uh, as governor, you got, I believe, over 80% of the vote, which in of itself is a record. No one else in this state, not even me, got that higher percentage when I was running for mayor.
Oh yeah,
So it goes to show that when you are yourself in positions of leadership or power, the people will gravitate towards you. And
yeah,
I believe that is what made the Nadar administration so successful, is because we didn't showboat. We didn't say, oh, I have all this money. Oh, I have all this power. We were with the people. We were at their level, because at the end of the day, we are all citizens of San Andreas, and we all want the same things: safety, security, and to make sure that we can provide for ourselves and our families.
yeah, and that's exactly why I was like, this guy, he seems legit, and I took you up on that offer, joining the United Path Party and kind of help
Yes,
you run your
yes.
campaign and do everything. And I got to meet a lot of amazing people going this route in life. I got to meet a lot of amazing people, and I'm glad I got to meet your wife, Mickey, David, Sassy. I mean, a lot of people. I got to meet a lot of different people that I probably would never meet anywhere else, really, or get to know them. And that was something I would always cherish, no matter what. But enough
And
about.
that's
Go ahead.
part of um the pizzazz of San Andreas, is you get to meet all these special people
Oh
in
yeah.
this state. Like you said, Sassy, we have Jack Lamb, Serrano, Mr. Phillips, everyone in SASP and LSPD, etc., etc. Every single person in this state brings something to the table. And when you tap into that potential, the state benefits. And that's what I focused on, is the people. And even to this day, people will come up to me and they'll go, Arlo, we miss you as governor. We are so grateful for what you've done to this state. And to anyone listening, I'm always grateful to have served as governor, and those words of encouragement mean more than I can express. So thank you, everyone.
That's right. So I'm glad, brother. I know you've been hounding me about getting this podcast going, and
It's true.
my schedule was busy, back then, but
That's
now I
fair.
have a
That's
lot of free
fair.
time now, and I'm glad we're able to sit down and get this going. But I'm glad you are here because I want, all the new people that are coming in this state, you know, they see your name everywhere on Weasel News, all the fake stuff that's on there and everything. I want you to kind of explain to everybody your back history and everything, because there's a lot of new people in the state, and I would love them to know everything about you.
Oh, well, I have been in this state for a few years now. And I didn't start off, obviously, as quote unquote a celebrity. Um, I came into the state not really knowing where I wanted to be. I kind of moved up into Paleto Bay when I first arrived into San Andreas, into a small little home. And I then met the mayor of Paleto Bay at the time. His name was Nero Silvestro. He was a good friend of mine. God rest
Mm-hmm.
his soul. He tragically passed probably a year ago. But regardless, I ended up, seeing what he did for Paleto Bay, and then I read into one of the files in the city hall about the first Paleto Bay mayor, Colin Perez, and I fell in love with how he handled Paleto Bay, and that's kind of where my spark for San Andreas came from. Um, and that is also why, when I took office as governor, the first executive order I ever issued was marking May 7th as Colin Perez Day, to honor him after he was tragically assassinated. But regardless, I went through each Paleto Bay mayor, I think all the way up to Chris Peters. And then I ended up running, or actually, no, Jack Lamb, the governor at the time, now our amazing president, proceeded to get the current LS mayor at the time and prank me. I had thought that Jack Lamb had killed him, but it turns out it was all a prank, and it was like a little scare tactic.
Oh God.
Looking back, it was absolutely, hilarious how they did this. I was full in, I was about to call the FIB, and but they stopped me, and then they revealed Mr. Lamb was like, Arlo, we need a new mayor, and I think you're the man to take this position. And so he appointed me as the 13th mayor of LS, and
Wow.
it was a absolute momentous occasion. Initially, when I came into the state, I was like, okay, well, maybe I want to be the Paleto mayor. But as time went on, I was like, nah, it doesn't feel right. My heart doesn't belong in Paleto. It belongs somewhere else. And so when he offered me that position, I accepted. And then I ran for a second term as the Los Santos mayor, and I won by a landslide. However, before I could serve the 30-day, minimum term, the governor at the time, Frankie Serrano, my mentor, said, hey, Arlo, I want you as vice governor. And I accepted. And I became the 7th vice governor of San Andreas. And from that point, my world changed.
Oh, I bet.
Serrano taught me so many things. I got access to more resources. I saw how I could help this state in more ways than just Los Santos. And then the spark continued to get bigger and bigger until it was a huge blaze of passion. And then I remember this very vividly. One day, Mr. Serrano called me to the back of the White House and he said, hey, Arlo, it's time for someone else to run this state. I'm not going to run for a second term. And I was like, Mr. Serrano, you sure? I mean, the people love you. He said, yes. I give you my blessing to run for governor. And my heart was very full that day. Until to this day, it is very full. And I ran for governor, and I became the 10th governor on May 4th, 2025. And ever since then, I have been absolutely enamored with this state. It was one of my biggest honors and privileges to serve in such a wonderful position. And then, of course, as you know, I then ran for a second term, which was historic. No one had run a second term since the traitor known as Higglebottom. And I won by a landslide again.
I'm glad I was there for that too.
Yes. And I'm glad that you were able to serve as, and I will say this on record, the best Blaine County mayor this state has ever seen. You had a passion and a fire like no other Blaine County mayor. Coming only second was Collivander, and I absolutely loved Collivander. But you, Mr. Pablo, had a passion like no other, and Blaine County benefited. I mean, look at Sandy Shores right now. Look how prosperous it is because of you, because of the Nadar administration. It's people like that that make this state successful. When they put aside their differences and they work towards the common goal, that is when we all benefit. So, I became the second term governor, and, change continued to happen. I passed more laws than any other governor.
I know you were.
The list goes on and on.
I know you were always busy. I remember one day you're like, "Hey, Pablo, I'm just working on this law I did. What do you think about it?" And not even that. After you get done with that, the next day you're working on something new. You're always working for the state, always coming up with new ideas and everything. And that's what some people don't know.
And you have to, in those positions.
Oh, yeah.
I took an oath to the state and to the Constitution, and to the people of San Andreas. These people, the wonderful people of this state put me in that position and I'd be remiss if I didn't do anything with the position. So I had to do something. I had to pass these laws and, make this state stronger than it was before I took office. And I said that in my farewell speech.
Oh yeah, and it's funny. I thought Frank Serrano would probably run like a second term. That is crazy. Wow.
Yeah, Mr. Serrano is a very humble man, and I give him credit. He taught me a lot about humility and giving credit and accepting when you made a mistake. There were times during the Nadar administration, of course, that I made a mistake. I'm not perfect.
I'm not either. So
right. We all make mistakes. It's just part of being human. But what matters most is when you make that mistake, you say, hey, I messed up. That is on me. And here's what I'm going to do to make things better, to make things right,
And I will say this, even though we were doing a lot of, executive orders, for me, for Blaine County, you for the state, and all, changes and everything. Not only that, but we had a lot of funny moments, a lot of great fun times. I'm not gonna,
yes.
All the people that would just come out of nowhere. I remember we would just go park up at Legion Square, and we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if a semi with 20 trailers is just going to, haul ass right by us, or Tanya's going to come up and start hitting on me, or we don't know what's going to happen. Oh my God.
Right. And that's part of the wonder of this state is the unpredictability of it. The people in this state make it entertaining. And so when I pulled up in the Beast or in a helicopter or whatever, there was always something going on. Even on the slow days where the city was not as chaotic, there was still something going on, something wacky. And honestly, to be part of those, silly moments really makes me look back and just smile and just appreciate how crazy this state is. And not a lot of people will see, the people who don't live in San Andreas will not understand the quirkiness of the state and the charm that it brings to it. And that also really made me want to continue to fight for San Andreans, was because of these quirky little moments. And,
And not to mention, like, all the times we're at the governor's mansion.
Yes.
And everybody would just jump over. We don't know who it is. A lot of crazy people.
There was Carlos. Carlos definitely did that a few times. Tanya, I think, did it once or twice. Scared the hell out of me.
Yep. And not only that, what about the crazy stories with David just doing something funny or just having a good time?
Ah, yes. My ever-beloved vice governor.
He kept Secret Service busy, boy. I tell you what. The first time I met David, the very first time I met David is that he invited me over to his house with you, right? I go in there. Yeah. I think this is when I became the mayor and Sassy. I think it was a couple days later. We go to David's house. It's my first time being there, so I'm a little bit nervous, first time meeting David and everything. We go inside, and he's got maids everywhere. All the maids are everywhere.
Yes, I remember this.
He had one maid on top of the wall, scrubbing the wall down, twerking. I was like, holy shit, what is going on here? And I see like the family frame photo of him, his wife, and everything else. I was like, wow, good God.
Yeah. And I always said during my tenure as governor, Mr. Phillips provided not only support when I needed it, he's like my brother, but he also provided adventures for the Nadar administration. If you wanted to go do something wacky, Mr. Phillips was your guy. Of course, you and I had our own silly moments without him, but Mr. Phillips, absolutely phenomenal man. I can't express that enough. Every time you were with him, there was an adventure.
Yep.
regardless of if it was at the governor's mansion, if it was in Blaine County, if it was in Roxwood or Los Santos, wherever you were with Mr. Phillips, there was something crazy going to happen. And I absolutely adored it.
What about the
Mr.
time
Phillips is
when-
such a great man.
What about the time when he made sure we would remember we rented those submarines, right?
Yes, I do remember that.
Oh God!
And you and
I thought
him
I was gonna-
got stuck in there. I remember that. I had to
thought I
coordinate
was
the
gonna
rescue
die.
effort.
I thought I was going to die that day. All right, I thought because we got stuck underwater, guys. We got stuck underwater. Me and Phillips. Secret Service wanted to get in the submarine with us, and Phillips was like, "No, you guys are not coming with me and Pablo. You guys go with Arlo." We take off in the submarine, and he went all the way down. I don't know what happened, and then like we got stuck. We got stuck, and it ran out of fuel. You know everything. The air wasn't working inside the submarine, and
I remember
looked at David,
finding you guys. I just vividly remember finding you guys after like 20 minutes of looking for you.
Oh God, yeah.
And coordinating this rescue effort with National Guard. And I see you banging on the glass. It looked like you were screaming, and I have no idea why.
Because David shitted inside. Well, he didn't. I mean, he like farted inside the fucking submarine. There's no air.
Oh my God.
It was hot. I was sweating. My armpits were like, it was bad. I mean, it was bad. And I was banging. I see you guys. I'm banging on the window of the submarine. Like, come get us. Come get us. And you had one of the scuba guys come down. I think it was Secret Service agent, hopefully. Or was
I believe, Zach Dallier.
It was Zach. It was Zach Dallaire. Yep. And he hooked us up, and you guys pulled us out. Oh my God. Oh man, yeah. If you guys ever, if David's ever has any free time, he's not busy, hit that guy up for an adventure, because you don't know what you're gonna get yourself into.
Exactly. Even to this day, now that he's governor, which, side note, him becoming governor is honestly one of the best achievements that myself would have seen happening. Like,
oh yeah.
I essentially trained him for this moment, just like how Serrano trained me to become governor in a way. I trained him in a way to become governor. And so when he won his election, the amount of joy that I felt in that moment, I cannot express. Serrano, Mr. Phillips and I are tight. Obviously, we worked together for a whole year, which is a record in and of itself. No other politician in the state has served that long. But it was because the people loved the Nadar administration that we got to have that amazing opportunity. But when he became governor, I knew this state would succeed. And I believe it is. Despite the rocky start to the Phillips administration, I do believe that he is still the best choice out of, those two for this state.
Yeah, it was a very rocky situation on everything, and it's been kind of a crappy year, but you know what? We're almost getting into the fall season of the year, and hopefully things will change, Just got to have a little faith in everywhere. Just like you told me the other day. You just got to have faith. And I know David will get everything right on the right path and get this state even more stronger.
It's true.
So
he has, he's got, I think, 2 months. I think. But
3 or 2,
today, today is the, as you know, Mr. Pablo, the 250th anniversary of America's independence from the UK. Now, as a British man, despite the obvious, I am still, honored to be alive for this momentous occasion, and even more so to see what Mr. Phillips is going to do with such a big occasion. As we stated prior, Mr. Phillips always goes big. That's
Yep.
just who he is. So
Yep.
I guarantee he's going to do something amazing today.
Oh, I guaranteed he will, and hopefully I can see it or hear about it. But anyways, just to mention, it is the 250th, anniversary birthday, and I don't see where is your patriotic shirt at. I mean, look at me. I got my patriotic shirt.
Well, had I known to put, my
Oh yeah.
patriotic outfit on, I would have.
I figured you would have showed up to the podcast today with like a United Kingdom flag or something.
Oh, I think that'd have been hilarious. I should have done that.
It would. It really would. I think it would have I think it probably would have rattled some people, but oh well, you know what I mean?
That's part of the fun, though.
That is. That's part of the fun.
I believe what I did for last year, because I was governor during last year's 4th of July, I believe I did something like that, just to, be a little silly. And part of, being in such a powerful and important position is you got to have fun. That's what Mr. Serrano always taught me. Don't take things too seriously, or you're gonna, start losing your hair.
Yep.
Obviously, take the serious things seriously, but if you take it too seriously, it's gonna hurt you in the end, and hurting you will hurt the people, and you don't want that. So, I'm sure. I remember actually we had quite a big celebration. Just because I'm from the UK doesn't mean I can't support the wonderful country that is the United States.
Yep. And someday, hopefully, I can go see the United Kingdom.
Oh, I'll gladly take you over there. I got a lot more free time now that I'm not governor.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, Arlo, I do appreciate you coming onto the podcast.
Of course.
I really do.
Of course.
I hope you and Carrie have a good 4th of July, and I hope...
you know it.
If you guys are watching this, do not light anything on your hands. All right? I'm speaking to you, Jack Lamb Jr. All right? Do not, put anything in your hands and light it up and hold it. All right?
Or up your ass.
Yeah, or up your ass. I'm sure there's going to be a few dipshits out there that's going to light shit up their ass and...
Probably.
Oh, them cops are going to be busy today. Good God. I can already see it now. Anyways,
exactly.
Don't forget to buy Johan's book, $48.99 if you want
#ad.
Yep, if you want the deluxe edition, $89.99. And also, he did say he was going to run for president, so be on the lookout for that.
Well, oh Lord.
I don't know how that's going to work out, but we will...
sounds disastrous. The stories I could tell, with Johan. Oh Lord.
Oh man, yeah. Yep.
But we'll have to do this again, Mr.
Oh yeah, we
Mr.
will have to do this again.
The stories I have during my tenure as governor, you can make an episode series out of it.
Oh yeah, we have a lot of stories. But I had never got the chance to hear some of the old stories when you were, around longer than I was.
I got the stories. I can go
Yeah.
all the way back to when I was a council member under Nero Silvestro.
Oh wow, yeah. I bet those stories are great.
Full of history.
Anyways, guys, stay safe. All right. And
thank you so much for having me today, Pablo. It's been a pleasure.
Yep, and thank you for coming too, brother.
Of course.
Anyways,
thank you, everyone.
I love you guys. Have a good one.